Well, this is it. The final regular season power rankings. Let's get started.
So, Mina, let's start with you here. Who deserves the most blame for the Browns' struggles this season?
The quarterback.
We've made it, folks. We are finally here. The season finale of the 2021 NFL regular season power rankings. This is the last time we'll be ranking all 32 teams this season, as next week's power rankings will focus on just the playoff teams. So where does your team find itself as we enter Week 18, the final week of the 2021 season? Well, let's find out. Number 32, Jacksonville Jaguars. Last time's ranking, 32. Come on, Jacksonville, you can do it! Just lose to the Colts in Week 18 and you lock up the first overall pick for the second straight year. Nothing to be overly disappointed about. Losing 50-10 to the New England Patriots isn't even one of the top 5 most embarrassing moments for the Jags this season. I mean, at least they didn't get shut out. Number 31, Detroit Lions. Last time's ranking, 31. Without Jared Goff, the Lions were humiliated by the Seattle Seahawks on Sunday afternoon. If there's a positive to take away, it's the breakout year of rookie Amon-Ra St. Brown, who recorded a career-high 111 receiving yards. Detroit has a top 2 pick locked up, essentially guaranteeing them either Kayvon Thibodeau or Aiden Hutchinson. So hey, small victories, Lions fans. Number 30, New York Giants. Last time's ranking, 30. Joe Judge's postgame rant was kind of weird. He said something about ex-Giants players saying they wish they were on the 2021 squad.
I can tell you we got more players here who are going to be free agents next year, all right, who are in my office every day begging to come back. I know that. Okay, I know that. Or players that we coached last year that still call me twice a week talking about, how much they wish they were still here even though they're getting paid more somewhere else.
Why do we find that hard to believe? Oh yeah, because the 2021 Giants are absolutely terrible. They just finished making a bad Chicago team look like they're the 85 Bears. Number 29, New York Jets. Last time's ranking, 28. It's hard to applaud the Jets for nearly defeating the defending champions. What on earth was that QB sneak on 4th and 2 to put the game away? And what kind of defense allows a 33-yard touchdown pass with 15 seconds remaining? Well, that's the New York Jets for you. At least the loss helps them move up in the draft order. Number 28, Carolina Panthers. Last time's ranking, 29. Sure, they dropped a 6th straight game on Sunday, but hey, at least Carolina showed some fight against a desperate New Orleans Saints team. Sam Darnold didn't have his worst of the season on Sunday, so I guess that counts as progress, right? Bear with us, folks. We're just trying to be positive amid another lost season in Carolina. Number 27, Washington Football Team. Last time's ranking, 25. Washington nearly handed the Philadelphia Eagles a loss that would have derailed their playoff hopes, but it wasn't meant to be. Taylor Heineke's last interception in the red zone doomed Washington, who are officially eliminated from playoff contention. Winning the NFC East again was always gonna be a tough ask, but you still can't help but be disappointed with what we've seen from Ron Rivera's club this season. We expected so much more. Number 26, Houston Texans. Last time's ranking, 26. The scrappy Texans gave the San Francisco 49ers a scare at Levi Stadium, but some costly miscues ultimately led to their undoing. The effort was admirable nonetheless. Rookie Davis Mills has performed fairly well and probably deserves another year to prove himself. Considering how weak this year's QB draft class is, it may be in the Texans' best interest to give him a shot. Number 25, Denver Broncos. Last time's ranking, 23. Sunday's loss to the LA Chargers clinched a 5th straight losing season for the Broncos. This franchise is mired in mediocrity, and it's a shame considering the Pro Bowl level talent on both sides of the ball. A coaching change appears to be in order. But the real question is, who in the world will Denver start at QB in 2022? The Teddy Bridgewater Drew Lock combo just couldn't cut it this year. Number 24, Atlanta Falcons. Last time's ranking, 22. The Falcons were officially eliminated from playoff contention with a sloppy loss to the Buffalo Bills. Kyle Pitts at least put a cherry on top of what has been a fantastic rookie year by hitting the 1,000-yard receiving mark. We've said for a while that Atlanta should move on from Matt Ryan in 2022. But then you think about the potential of this offense when they get Calvin Ridley back. Should the Falcons seriously consider keeping Matty Ice around for one more year? Number 23, Minnesota Vikings. Last time's ranking, 20. Without Kirk Cousins, the Vikings were predictably embarrassed by the Green Bay Packers. The result is a second straight losing non-playoff season, the first time that's happened under head coach Mike Zimmer. You've got to think that ownership is leaning towards some major changes this offseason. Could Week 18 be the last time we see Zimmer and Cousins with the Vikings? Number 22, Seattle Seahawks. Last time's ranking, 27. The Seahawks dominated the Lions in what may have been the final home game for Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll. Nice to end it on a high note, regardless of the opponent. Seattle will get a chance to play spoiler when they visit the Arizona Cardinals on Sunday. A win would ruin the Cards' chances of claiming the first NFC West Division title in 6 years. Number 21, Cleveland Browns. Last time's ranking, 21. There's absolutely no questioning Baker Mayfield's heart or his dedication to the city of Cleveland. None whatsoever. That being said, it just doesn't seem like he's the right guy to lead this team to success. The turnovers have become mind-numbing. Even Peyton Manning was having a hard time watching it on Monday night. Just look at that reaction after Baker's interception. Yikes. Number 20, Chicago Bears. Last time's ranking, 24. Yes, it was the Giants, but a sad team like the Bears will take any win that they can get. And hey, their 2022 first rounder belongs to those very same Giants, so that made Sunday's win even sweeter. How about Robert Quinn though? We all thought that he was done, but then he goes out and breaks Richard Dent's record for the most sacks by a Bear in a single season. Quinn has been a major bright spot in an otherwise disappointing season for the Bears. Number 19, Baltimore Ravens. Last time's ranking, 17. Not much more we can say. Most teams aren't built to win without their superstar quarterback, let alone their top running backs and 2 all-pro defensive backs. The Ravens hung in there against the Packers in Week 15 and against the Los Angeles Rams in Week 17, without Lamar Jackson. It is a testament to John Harbaugh's incredible coaching and his team's depth. Still, barring a miracle, the Ravens look poised to miss the playoffs for the first time in the Lamar Jackson era. Number 18. Miami Dolphins. Last time's ranking, 13. The resilient Dolphins ran out of momentum and suffered an embarrassing road loss to the Tennessee Titans. That 7-game winning streak was all for naught as the loss to old friend Ryan Tannehill eliminated Miami from playoff contention. For the second straight year, Tua Tagovailoa flopped in a Week 17 must-win game. Gotta wonder if owner Stephen Ross considers drastic changes, or if he'll look to run it back with Brian Flores and company after a 5th straight non-playoff season. Number 17, Pittsburgh Steelers. Last time's ranking, 18. Well, what do you know? Turns out that 2021 won't be the first losing season of the Mike Tomlin era after all. Unfortunately, their big Monday night win over the Browns could be all for naught. The Steelers need a miracle in the form of a Jags win over the Colts in order to have a chance at making the postseason. I expect the churches in Pittsburgh to be jam-packed Sunday morning. Number 16, New Orleans Saints. Last time's ranking, 19. It wasn't pretty, and, well, it hasn't been for most of the season, really. But the Saints barely held off the slumping Panthers to keep their playoff hopes alive. New Orleans needs a win over Atlanta and a 49ers loss to the Rams in order to get into the postseason. Whatever happens, it is absolutely remarkable that this team has at least 8 wins after using 4 different starting quarterbacks this season. Take a bow, Sean Payton. Number 15, Indianapolis Colts. Last time's ranking, 7. What a letdown of a loss for the Colts. At home, no less. A victory would have made the Week 18 game against Jacksonville totally stress-free, but now they've got to win to lock down a wildcard spot. Beating Jacksonville should be easy, but the amount of late meltdowns by this team has us convinced that they won't go far in the playoffs, if they even get there. Number 14, Las Vegas Raiders. Last time's ranking, 16. The Raiders stunned the red-hot Colts on the road to keep their playoff hopes alive. Amid all the drama and off-season issues surrounding this team, Vegas now finds themselves 1 win away from a playoff berth. Sunday Night Football, Raiders versus Chargers for all the marbles. What a story it would have been if the Raiders could qualify after all they've been through. Number 13, Los Angeles Chargers. Last time's ranking, 15. The Chargers made fairly easy work of the Broncos to at least clinch their first winning season in 3 years. But Justin Herbert and company want more, obviously. Sunday's game against Vegas is simple. Win. the Chargers are in, and 2021 can be considered a success for the franchise. Lose, and they'll be one of the biggest disappointments of the year. No pressure, Bolts. Number 12, Philadelphia Eagles. Last time's ranking, 12. Widely projected to be a bottom 5 team this year, the Eagles exceeded all preseason expectations and now find themselves going back in the postseason. Give Nick Sirianni some Coach of the Year votes, will ya? Philly narrowly left DC with a close win over Washington. The only question now is who they'll play on Super Wildcard Weekend. That remains to be seen, but know this, they'll be a tough out for whoever they face. Number 11, San Francisco 49ers. Last time's ranking, 14. And Trey Lance's first NFL win came at a pivotal time. The 49ers got past the Texans, and they still control their own destiny. A win over the Rams will clinch a playoff spot. Otherwise, they need the Saints to lose or tie to Atlanta. If they're smart, they'll finish the job themselves, rather than leave it to the Falcons to do their dirty work. Number 10, New England Patriots. Last time's ranking, 11. The Patriots manhandle the Jaguars and are headed back to the playoffs after a one-year hiatus. They'll have to defeat Miami and hope for a Buffalo Bills loss or tie to the helpless Jets if they're to win the division. Even if they have to settle on a wildcard spot, the Pats shouldn't complain. It's been a remarkable turnaround following a forgettable 2020 campaign. Number 9, Dallas Cowboys. Last time's ranking, 4. A frustrating and controversial loss to the Arizona Cardinals ruined Dallas' slim chances of claiming the top seed in the NFC. They'll likely be the number 4 seed, and that means hosting either the Cardinals or Rams, which isn't exactly ideal. At the same time, Dallas was probably due for a letdown after beating up on some easy opponents. Better to get it out of the way now rather than in mid-January. Number 8, Arizona Cardinals. Last time's ranking, 10. The Redbirds snapped a 3-game losing streak by outlasting the powerhouse Dallas Cowboys at AT&T Stadium. Their playoff spot was already clinched heading into Week 17, but Arizona at least regained some momentum while keeping their NFC West title hopes alive. It was a solid turnaround for Kyler Murray, who had 263 passing yards and 2 touchdowns, along with 44 rushing yards on 9 carries. This is the version of Murray that the Cards are hoping to have for the postseason. Number 7, Buffalo Bills. Last time's ranking, 8. Buffalo took care of business against Atlanta to hit double-digit wins for the 3rd straight year. Now, they just need a victory over the Jets to clinch a 2nd straight division title. Since that heartbreaking loss to Tampa Bay in Week 14, the Bills have caught fire and are peaking at the perfect time. They finally look like the 2020 group that won 13 games en route to an AFC title game appearance. Number 6, Kansas City Chiefs. Last time's ranking, 2. A heartbreaking loss for KC means they'll most likely have to play on wildcard weekend after all. The defense fell apart after a dominant 2-month stretch, and now KC has to beat Denver just to hang on to the number 2 seed in the conference. You never like to see your team lose, but in the Chiefs' case, perhaps a late-season wake-up call will do this team some good. Number 5, Cincinnati Bengals. Last time's ranking, 9. That division-clinching comeback win over the Kansas City Chiefs is easily the Bengals' biggest victory in pretty much forever. If you had any questions as to whether or not these guys are legit contenders, I think they answered that on Sunday. And how about that Jamar Chase? The dude is ridiculous. He didn't even need the additional 17th game to break Justin Jefferson's rookie receiving yards record. What more can we say? Bengals fans deserve this after a horrendous stretch for the franchise. Number 4, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Last time's ranking, 5. The Bucs came away with another heart-pounding win, this time against the Jets. It came at a cost, however. Antonio Brown is no longer with the team following a strange outburst that saw him quit mid-game, or retire, or get cut, or whatever. With no Brown or Chris Godwin the rest of the season, Tampa's offense is suddenly a lot less scary. Then again, it's never wise to bet against Tom Brady, now is it? Number 3, Tennessee Titans. Last time's ranking, 6. Tennessee put the dagger in Miami's playoff hopes, and the Chiefs lost to Cincinnati. And that means the Titans just need to beat the lowly Texans to lock up the conference's top seed. Imagine if Tennessee got the first round bye and a healthy Derrick Henry back. This franchise is oh so close to a Super Bowl appearance. They can taste it all right. Number 2, Los Angeles Rams. Last time's ranking, 3. The Rams survived a resilient Baltimore squad and held on for win number 12. They just need a victory or an Arizona loss to wrap up the NFC West. A victory would clinch the number 2 seed for LA as well, meaning they'd set themselves up nicely for a home game in the divisional round. And how nice would it be if they could beat the rival 49ers and knock them out of postseason contention? Number 1. Green Bay Packers. Last time's ranking, 1. The Packers locked up the NFC's top seed and the lone first-round bye. And Aaron Rodgers probably locked up a second straight MVP award. Business as usual for the Pack, who could have taken a mid-game nap over the punchless Vikings. If David Bakhtiari, J.R. Alexander, and Zadarius Smith return in time for the divisional round, yeah, these Packers are the team to beat in the NFL, and it ain't up for debate. But what changes would you make to our Week 18 power rankings? Join us in the comment section below. If you liked this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton. And hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.